When last we left our heroes, they have finally made it to the town, the city of Oasis, on the far western side of the river and very large man-made lake in the western desert region of Marmaria. They traveled through several different tribal territories of the northern bank, including a tribe of skinwalkers in the town of Solitude, where we learned that Wolfgang's wife had originally come from. They also found a cavern of dead trogs, no doubt left behind in a massacre caused by the minions of Solomon, the god of undeath. They also traveled through the land of the centaurs, where they were attempted to be stopped. And finally, the town of Damhammer, which they defended from one of the sons of the god of war, who finally met his end. The young lord Theranak fell by the blade of Asmo and the teeth of many a T-Rex. Traveling with their companion Dogud, they've reached the city of Oasis and have entered the tournament, or have been placed to enter the tournament, known as the War Games, where they hope to eventually gain the favor of the God of War. Though Dogud hopes for something a little different. Alright, so following your endeavor to acquire a plant, T-Wig, which went very successfully, and you got it absolutely free, even though the Voss itself was busted up.
La 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 la
la. You notice a small commotion coming down the central thoroughfare of the town, which you're currently north of. There are a bunch of relatively sickly-looking Goliath carrying pallets upon pallets of wood and building material. Many of the townsfolk don't seem to pay this much mind. Some stop and look as they begin constructing what seems to be a series of palisades in the center. They're working very quickly, and all of these men look very gangly and broken in some way, shape, or form. You can tell that these people have been they've been beaten down pretty much their entire lives as they begin working quite tirelessly on building several setups for what is yet to be determined.
How many of them are there?
Looks like there's a couple dozen, as they're some are still carrying some stuff in, as others are setting up, looking like they're building the basis for platforms and booths.
Oh, okay.
As you see this, you also notice that the crowd gets the crowd of those who have stopped to observe is a bit more diverse than the standard Goliath. You see a couple of those yellow-skinned orcs that you had seen previously. Few snake-like creatures that leave this kind of burning, scorching trail behind as they slither along, but they have these humanoid bodies and these long, red, smoking whiskers coming off the sides of their almost catfish-like face.
Oh my god, that's Asmo's spicy uncle.
See a couple more centaur kind of hanging around, and a couple normal-looking humans, actually, kind of wandering around the crowd. A pair, actually. Dark-haired males. They look completely identical, except they have a scar mirrored on each on their left and right cheek, respectively. They're dressed in a brown tunic and they look almost hempen pants. The crowd begins to carry on their way as the construction continues.
Could I just real quick look to see? You said there's sort of like scrawny, gangly looking Goliaths. Could I just do like a medicine check or something to see if they're like sick or like not being fed or something?
Yeah, sure. I'll allow a medical check just on basic observation.
Alrighty. 11.
You can't tell if they're completely malnourished or not, or if they're like just being mistreated like that, but based on the looks of them, you can tell that these people have lost many a fight in their life. Some of them have like misshapen arms from like bones that might not have healed back properly. Some of them are missing digits, and a couple of them are missing limbs like some of their limbs entirely. So, based on the rule of this town, you can just guess that these are probably the weakest of the weak that were downtrodden so much that they are just forced to do tiny, menial jobs that are meant to kind of make them almost a spectacle.
All right.
Walking amongst them, kind of observing their work, though, is a relatively familiar figure. One that you saw, God, probably close to a week or so ago. I want each of you to make a history check with advantage.
Okay.
Not great, but
22.
Man.
6.
No, it's
with advantage.
With advantage.
So that's an 18.
18.
History with advantage?
Yes.
16.
Asmo, T-Wig, and Denier. Denier, you remember this person very specifically. As soon as you see them, you had this flash. You remember them from two places, Denier. One, from when you and your companions faced off against Theranak outside of Solitude. This was the woman that showed up, claiming to be his sister. And another flash in your mind is you saw this shape and this figure and this face a moment before the blinding light that zapped the wandering weasel away from you and left you unconscious. Asmo, you also recognize this woman, this 6'2" Goliath woman, completely, her skin is more marbeline than the grayed Goliaths around you. Like it's far more pale and pure. Her face seems almost like that of Vander's. It's lacking almost completely in hair, but she's made up for that with a few decorative scalp tattoos, almost in kind of like an arrow point fashion that go from the front of her head and kind of wrap around the back. She's wearing very similar silken white robes that you saw Vander wearing, not the grayed battle armor that she was wearing when you first saw her with the stone crown. She seems to be observing the crowd, and as she...
Quick question: when did I first see her? When she first showed up when we were in the desert?
When you were battling Theranak outside of the woods, after he had turned into a sloth,
That's right,
she showed
yeah,
up
she
looking
showed
for
up.
him.
Ah, there she is. Is she looking at us?
She's kind of glancing around to make sure the work is getting set up properly, but she does... her eye does seem to catch you and linger on you for a moment, as she seems to try to place exactly where she saw you, and you get this glimpse of... You think it kind of like clicked with her where she's seen you before, as she goes back to her business for a moment.
It's understandable why Wolfgang wouldn't have recognized her. He was like 100 feet up in the air and hit with a thunderbolt immediately afterward.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will wave. Like, not like as a come over here, but sort of like, hello!
Yeah, you were very friendly with her on your last encounter, T-Wig. She actually kind of nods toward you a little bit in an acknowledgement.
Okay.
And as she actually seems to calmly make her way over towards the lot of you.
Hello! It's been some time since we've seen each other.
It has.
You're tall.
She kind of gives what could be seen as almost like a half quaint smile, just as like a yes I am, like an acknowledgement. She looks about the lot of you, and her eyes seem to drag over the symbol on your armor, Asmo.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Her eyes drag over her eyes seem to linger a bit longer on the little symbol on the breast of your armor, the one signified that, or the ones that the orcs of Damhammer gave to you after the Battle of Damhammer.
How far away from us is she?
She has approached you. She's within probably 5 feet of the lot of you at the moment. And as she looks around. So I am to assume that you are the reason Theranak did not return.
No, Theranak is the reason why Theranak did not return.
You actually get a small chuckle out of her from that. True enough, I suppose.
In the words of a good book, he bit off more than he could chew.
He never could quite learn to control his temper, to focus it. Not properly, anyway. You did not travel here alone, I heard tales. Where is Theragor?
His name is Guy.
Is it?
No, he prefers to be called Dogud.
Oh, right. Spike called him Guy.
He prefers his chosen name, not his given name.
Understandable. But that does not answer my question.
I thought he was with us, out of character. Like,
after you guys had signed in for the tournament, you remember that he kind of wandered off to the north just to kind of be out of the center of all of this.
Okay, but here's the thing though, Nick. Did this happen like the Godzilla, like Godzilla 2000? Did Godzilla just disappear? Where'd he go?
This is a pretty sizable street that you're on, and there are a lot of people, so he probably he probably wandered out the front and wandered off to the side of one of the main gates.
We
So
probably
you
couldn't
can't
see him if we scanned the horizon.
You can go ahead and give me a perception check.
We're in a city
All right,
though, so.
Well, Wolfgang will just lift his hat slightly above his eyes and squint his pupils and look around and... Yeah, nothing. 7.
Yeah, he's with the commotion that's going on in the street. I mean, even as tall as he is, you're guessing that he probably wandered off to either the left or the right of the gate at the far end, which is it is a decent jaunt away from you. It's probably close to a kilometer away. The entrance to the northern gate, which you know he wandered out of.
so are you two like siblings then?
Yes. I've known him since he was... Well, since I was born, anyway.
He's pretty nice.
Are you older or younger?
I am the youngest.
Out of all of your siblings?
Yes. Remaining,
Nice.
anyway.
I assume that Theragor, as you call him, is the oldest, then.
Yes. I believe so. The oldest that I could remember, anyway. You still have not answered
How
my
many?
question.
Well, I think he went away to sort of clear his head.
Which direction?
Don't exactly know. I look to T-Wig and Asmo and Denier and...
I'll point the direction I last saw him heading.
Appreciate it.
What are you going to do? You're not gonna like beat them up or something, are you?
Oh. No, not yet.
Yet.
Tournament.
She looks towards you. Yes.
Oh, right. Oops, my bad. Yeah. Oh, I
Again.
will fight you. Oh my goodness.
Oh boy, you are going to be entering the tournament, huh?
She looks towards you. It is unofficial as of yet. My father makes the final decision, but don't tell anyone. She kind of gives you a sly, knowing smile.
I will give her the most exaggerated wink ever of all time.
Your eye shuts off and turns back on with a
Oh, I'm,
massive click.
I'm disguised as a dragonborn, so it's
Oh,
like
right,
really exaggerated because I don't get facial expressions very much.
And you'll note that even though you are disguised as a dragonborn, she doesn't seem to look at you any differently than she had, or treat you differently than she had previously.
If I might ask a question of you, I believe this is our third time coming across each other's paths. The bar. Did they do something to offend you or your father?
The bar.
The one
Oh.
that was set up in the stone.
Oh, yes, the tavern. They brought with them supplies that we deemed unnecessary for the populace. So we brought them here.
I suspected as much.
If you're looking for them, they've no doubt set up somewhere among these streets.
That would be a... Sorry.
They were quite keen to be here for the festivities. I simply expedited their travel.
Dinner nods a couple times. I see. Thank you for your assistance.
And I suppose I should thank you of doing me the favor of taking care of Theranak.
Favor.
You didn't like him?
Oh. I enjoyed him. But he was an obstacle. She kind of like she seems to like kind of clench her fist a bit, and you see this kind of spark kind of fly from her wrist upward to her neck, travel around her body, and dissipate.
Could I do an insight as to... I Connor, probably know what she means, but Wolfgang wants to sort of... These seem like a fairly warlike people, and they don't seem to care if one of their own falls. Is there like a hierarchy?
Go ahead and make an insight check.
9,
rules,
man.
bitch.
I'm rolling like crap tonight.
Prison rules.
I mean, to your eyes, there is clearly a hierarchy of power amongst this family, especially given the fact that its quote-unquote patriarch seems to be so devout towards finding the strongest. So inevitably there is something there, but there's something lying beneath what she's saying that you're having trouble coming to grips with.
He'll just sort of squint and
They're like shoehorn
nod slightly.
They're like shoehorn storks. They're hardcore.
Then there's some information that you might find interesting.
Oh?
An ancient foe of your father's is attempting to make its return. Should it make its return, it will prove to be quite the opponent for an entity of war.
It will be the war to end all of them.
That's what mortals always say.
The last time this thing came back,
not.
it tore the land asunder. Even Vander himself fought this great beast, and yet it returns.
I believe I've heard these tales. Should I meet it, I look forward to seeing such a foe in the flesh.
Denier will give a nod.
Now, I have business to attend to. Enjoy the festivities. They should begin tomorrow at first light.
Oh, wow, that's super soon.
What was your name again?
She turns as she begins to walk past you. Vesa.
Vesa.
I love her.
Vessa.
Why do I have to be a fucking robot? I love her.
Beep.
And she begins making her way towards the northern gate.
I walk up next to Wolfgang and look up to him. Do you think she's like single?
Sort of narrow.
No, she likely she will have allies.
I
You should be careful.
don't care if she's single, to be perfectly honest. I still haven't quite forgiven her for shooting me with a lightning bolt, if I'm being perfectly honest.
I mean, come on, it was just like one lightning bolt. Nature could have done that
Good
to
one.
you. Would you have punched a tree if you got hit with a lightning bolt? I do not think so.
I think at this point I would have brought it up with the god of nature, which we have met.
What?
Daenerys instantly turns to Wolfgang.
You what?
Say that
I told you.
again.
I told you about, well, not nature. Wait a minute, hang on.
No, nature. That's accurate.
No, nature, that's accurate.
Where?
When did we talk about this?
I told you about this. Both of you.
As far as I know, unless I'm mistaken, he was never told. He was told that that they have not found Fleetfoot.
Not Fleetfoot, but wait, was it Fleetfoot? Fuck.
Fleetfoot
Yes.
is the god of
Looking-
nature.
Kane is wearing off.
Oh no.
Hey, Nick, 1 sec. I gotta step away from the mic.
No worries.
Fleetfoot is the god of nature.
I'm looking
He's the
through my
one that
notes.
Daenerys been looking for.
I do recall him bringing this up with you guys at some point.
Yeah, I thought could have sworn I told you. Maybe you're on
Maybe we
Novocaine.
just forgot. Yeah,
No.
maybe the
I don't
fumes
remember.
from this tree are making me loopy.
And the Hexwood. And the Hexwood, that cat that talked. You find it odd that I was the only one.
A grin slowly begins to creep across his face. So I was right.
It
My
seems you
suspicions were correct.
It appears you were, young Denier.
I knew it wasn't Maggie. The snow globe confirmed it.
Well, for the time being, or at least what I gleaned off of him, it seems to be on our side in this.
Well, that's good. That's so weird. Nature usually doesn't pick sides, but I guess it makes sense. if
I
nature-
think nature picked the side of nature in this, because if we fail, if the bleeding god succeeds, there won't be much of a world left to tend to.
That is concerning but fair.
Then Daniel
That's why
Peaches and
we're-
I need to have a conversation.
It seems you do. Should we ever make it back?
True enough.
Denier, your eyes glance around the crowd of onlookers. That same centaur with that red elf on his back is kind of standing back along the crowd. The elf kind of glancing around the crowd, and his eyes, your eyes kind of meet his again for just a moment.
Mm-hmm. Hang on a second. I don't know, something... Take a look over there, the red-skinned elf.
I will try and look at them with my eyeballs.
You don't see what he's talking about. You see a large body, like broad centaur with a half, that's a half rhino centaur, very similar to the one that you met in the giant's graveyard. But you don't see any red-skinned elf.
I see a rhino butt. I do not see anything else, Denier.
What about you, Wolfgang? Can you see them? They're sitting side saddle on the rhino's back.
Maybe I could take a look.
Well, now, I will use my special eyes. I will use my angelic sight to cast detect magic.
All right, you look about the area, and you don't see anything that could be conceivably called an elf, but this centaur, he's kind of radiating with an energy that seems to be centered around a what looks to be a talisman on his neck.
Yeah, I'm approaching.
It looks like that centaur. Got magic flowing through him. Source is that talisman on his neck.
Denier,
I'll
as you
just-
approach...
I'm sorry, I was just gonna say I'll keep focusing on detect magic just to get a good look at the competition and what they might be capable of, or what sort of items they might have.
You're having a hard time determining exactly what school of magic this talisman seems to be. It appears to be enhancements, or I think enhancement is the word I'm looking for.
I think that would be enchantment. Yes.
Enchantment, yeah. Denier, as you approach, the elf kind of begins to smile. And can you do a perception check for me real quick?
I most certainly can. That is a 24.
God damn.
You are insanely unnerved for a moment as there's something that it almost boggles your mind, but there's no other way to explain it. Your eyes, while focusing on this elf, perceived him as coming closer to you and then returning to where he was very quickly, but his overall size, as in your perspective of him, did not change. And as that confused look crosses your face, a very curious smile stretches across his as he kind of like leans down and kicks his feet up on the back of the rhino body, almost in kind of like that slumber party let's talk fashion, as he leans his head down onto as he leans his chin down onto his semi-clasped fingers. Hello there.
Good afternoon.
It is, isn't it?
You are quite the interesting fellow, I must confess. It would appear that my companions are unable to see you.
I know! Normally, I get to choose who can see me, but with you, it's very odd. Very odd indeed.
Nick, what are we seeing? Sorry, I'm just...
You see nothing. You see Denier walk up to a rhino-backed centaur, and looks like he's talking to the air behind him as the rhino centaur actually looks down to you, Denier. What are you talking about?
Point up towards his back. You can't see him either, can you?
Is this some sort of trick?
No?
Can we see this scene unfolding?
Yeah, you can see this very confused centaur talking to Denier as Denier was definitely looking at his back for a moment.
I will walk up to Denier, and I will hold my hands up to the rhino centaur. I'll be like, "I'm sorry, sir. Don't mind him. He gets a little fuzzy in the head sometimes. This is just what he does to calm down before a big event. It's an anxiety thing, you'll understand. I'm sorry. He doesn't mean anything by it."
What do you mean sometimes? He's always fuzzy. His head is fuzzy.
He'll point to T-Wig and be like, "He is, yes." Again, I'm sorry.
The centaur kind of like narrows his eyes and furrows his brow towards you. So you are here for the tournaments as well. And by the way, Denier, at this point, the red elf is just kind of giggling. Just kind of laughing at the situation that's unfolding.
Yeah, just trying to calm this rhino centaur down. Wolfgang will nod. Yes, I am here for the tournament.
He kind of glances you up and down, looks at those that you're traveling with. Not much brawn among you.
Get wrecked, Asmo.
Well,
This guy's built like a fucking brick shithouse. He's like 8 feet tall,
That's
and he has the ass of
true.
a rhino.
It's true, actually, comparatively.
appearances can be deceiving.
I'm keeping my eyes on the elf. He's just enjoying this, isn't he?
Oh yes, he's just grinning. As the elf, as the rhino is trying to parse with this situation, the rhino centaur, the elf looks towards you, Daenerys. How can you see me?
That I'm not sure of. I mean,
What aren't you
I have
sure of?
the creature that's sitting on your back is speaking to me, asking me questions, asking how I can see them, but nobody else can.
This is a he's starting to get confused and concerned, as if you're trying to play a spell on him.
I am still.
None of you know what Daenerys is talking about right now.
I don't, but I trust him, so I'm trying to distract this rhino from trying to interfere in what he's doing.
All right, go ahead and make a persuasion check on this rhino.
Oh boy, is that one of my good ones?
I mean, it's charisma, and you're a warlock, so I'm hoping.
All right, here we go. 17?
All right, what do you say to him?
You'll
distract
have
him.
This is a sort of ritual he goes through. He's touched in the mind, you see. He doesn't. He likes to, he mumbles to himself. He talks to himself. He likes to. It's something he does.
He starts to get entranced in your conversation, begins conversing with you as Daenerys continues talking to what is inexplicably the air.
You're not from around here, are you?
I'd say no, but I don't really know where here is.
This is a town called Oasis.
I've gathered that much.
In the western side of the continent, in the Great Sand Sea.
Past the mountains.
Yes.
Ah. Still not entirely sure how I got here, but thanks for the information.
Where do you come from? Maybe I can help let you know.
Oh, definitely past those mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Have we met before? You seem familiar.
I've never met a red-skinned elf before. I've met the
imagine you
dark-skinned
haven't.
of the north and the pale-skinned of the south.
Elf. Elf, yes. Kind of like feels around his head, touches his ears. Huh? Yeah, definitely. I see why that would be a good descriptor.
Can you nod slowly? Do you hail from the north, the south? Maybe from the forests to the east?
I feel like it's more complicated than that.
Really now?
Yeah. Best not to dwell on it, really.
Well, you've got my curiosity, I must admit.
As you have mine. What brings you here?
The tournament. A great shadow looms over this world. This is but a step
Really?
in stopping it.
Great shadow. How ominous. Something you fear.
I believe it's something that the entire world should fear.
Why?
Great destruction, loss of life, not to mention what it brings with it.
And what does it bring?
Horrific monstrosities, warped and bent the way that no creature in nature should be.
Sounds interesting.
Insight.
Go ahead.
Where is 7? He's confusing.
Very much so. You're having a hard time placing exactly where this. Okay, you're definitely having a hard time placing where this thing's intentions lie.
Mm-hmm. At the very least, I feel it proper to introduce ourselves. I am Denier of the Southern Islands.
Near of the Southern Islands. I'm afraid I'm at a loss. I don't think I've ever had a name.
And interesting.
Interesting.
Then perhaps it's time that perhaps you should create one for yourself. Unless you intend to remain invisible for the rest of the world to see.
Is it proper for someone to name themselves?
If you don't have a name, yes, I have encountered those that don't have names and they have named themselves.
Interesting. Usually it falls upon the creator.
Do you know of your creator?
Vaguely.
Who are they?
At this point, a nuisance.
Oh?
It's been so long, it's hard to really keep it straight anymore. All I know is I don't think they like me very much, and well, their loss.
What makes you say that?
I mean, they never reach out.
Mortal or immortal?
When in the bounds of time, is there really a difference? All things begin and all things end, do they not?
That they do. But some have a far more expansive existence than others.
Yes, like those dragons. They still carry on, yes?
Yes. Still the 3.
Still the 3.
You're older than you're letting on.
I'm exactly as old as I've let on. Or am I?
I find you interesting. You speak words, but you say nothing.
Most would find that frustrating.
I've had experiences with those that do the same.
So you have. So you have. That head of yours is... It's difficult. I can't see.
Yes. I've spent years perfecting the ways to protect myself.
Ah. So that's who you are.
Denier tilts his head a little bit. Oh? You've been able to figure out who I am just by that.
You're Denier of the Southern Isles.
Indeed, because I introduced myself just a little bit ago.
So you have.
But the question is, one with no name, who are you?
I simply... I must find out, I suppose. I suppose that's all I've ever wanted. But I can't do that right now.
What is it that you're wanting of right now? What brings you to Oasis that I suppose you don't know? You were just sent here.
He kind of like he looks outway for a moment, then kind of like looks towards the rhino centaur, who's continuing to glance back at you momentarily every now and again, but is for the most part focused on his conversation with Wolfgang. Just kind of gestures, the elf gestures with his thumb. Him. He brings me here. Can't seem to go anywhere else. Some ritual or another. Tedious, really. At
So
first
you're-
I was
So you're
lost
bound to
and
him.
confused, and I have no idea where I am, where I've been, or how long I've been there. But now I'm sure I'm here for a reason. I'm sure it will be revealed in good time.
I hope you find it.
Do you?
As long as it doesn't cause anybody harm, yes.
We shall see. We shall see.
Then I shall leave you be. Friend with no name. And
Friend.
Denier
Yes.
gives a little bow.
I suppose we are friends. Denier of the Southern Isles.
Yes. He gives a little bit of a smile behind his hood, and he slowly backs away to the rest of the group.
As you back away, the elf kind of like looks off into space and seems to be muttering to itself. Almost as if debating something in its own mind.
Mm-hmm.
A one-sided conversation.
Right. Oh, he looks like he's done, I suppose.
The
yes.
centaur looks towards him.
Sufficiently calm now, Denier.
Everything is wonderful.
Very good. I wrap my hand around Denier's shoulder. We'll stop bothering you now then, and good luck in the tournament.
Kind of grunts and nods toward you.
I start pulling Denier back to the group. What the fuck was that about?
Yeah, I was just entranced by that conversation the whole damn time.
You're serious. None of you can see him.
You were just talking about
I have magic eyes. I can't see a thing.
There
got
is a
snake eyes. I couldn't see. Shoot.
There is a red-skinned elf sitting on his back. Apparently, I'm guessing that the elf is bound to him. He says he can control who can see him and who can't, but apparently I can see him when others can't.
So you were talking to a ghost.
I don't think he's a ghost. I think he's somebody that might be cursed. Apparently he's been bound to the centaur guy for a long time. I don't think he can get off of his back.
I bet it's that necklace. That
The necklace?
talisman he's got. It's radiating a lot of magical energy.
Yeah, Wolfgang, as you got a better look at it when you were standing closer to him, it seems to be, it's an idol in the shape of what looks to be kind of like a tiki horse. And every now and again, you'll see the soft red glow kind of pulsating throughout the orifices of that horse.
I bet that's it. Could I, while we were talking, could I have done an Arcana check to see what effect it might be having on him?
Go ahead. I'll play this out as if you were doing this during your conversation.
All right. 3.
You can't tell if it has an immediate effect right now or if it's even actually doing anything right now. You know that it radiates this magic, but you can't tell exactly what it's doing to him. If anything at the moment.
Enigmatic little medallion he's got. Well,
I
either
think
way.
I think the elf has the power to peer into people's minds. Be careful. He mentioned that he couldn't see into
Another
mind.
thing we have to watch out for here. God.
I don't think he's hostile. He more wants to learn about himself. When we get to somewhere safe, I can show you what he looks like.
We're getting the best of the West here, so it's not strange to me that we're getting odd magical artifacts.
I don't think that's the thing. I don't think he's from around here. I think he's cursed and tied to that amulet somehow. Maybe.
And
Or
he
maybe
said,
he's just crafty and tricksy and he speaks but he doesn't say anything. He reminds me a lot of Tom.
you said he had no name.
Mm-mm.
Or he didn't know his name.
Correct. He also spoke of a creator that he claims to not like him, that his creator is almost of a nuisance at this point.
That's concerning.
But why me? I can see him of all things.
Well, you have magic that blocks
Well.
stuff, right? Maybe it's because you're blocking it. Like, you're blocking his ability to make himself not known to people. So you're just like, I am Denier. I am constantly blocking things. And his, like, illusion magic is not going through the shield you've created. And you really should open up from that shield, you know, sometimes.
No, the shield has to remain. When the shield loosens, people get hurt. The shield has to remain.
You said before we reunited, you went to Arcanos, or a temple of Arcanos. Correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
It was...
did Denier mention that he spoke with Arcanos as well?
A fragment of him, yes.
Maybe it was that.
Maybe. I do recall... I've never seen an elf like him before, but then again, I have heard the tale that many of the elves went with Arcanos to the east.
Could you show us what they look like? Because maybe I might recognize them.
Not here. Somewhere safe.
Very well.
Okay.
The wandering weasel should be around here somewhere.
If you're looking to find the wandering weasel, go ahead and give me either perception or investigation checks of your choosing.
All right. I will. Are we all allowed to make a check?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'll go with investigation. 21. There we go.
20.
27.
Then, 13.
Asmo, you feel like everybody else probably has this under wraps as Wolfgang.
Asmo's
and
coming
Demir-
down with a cold.
Yeah.
He just gives up.
Asmo's just a little. Asmo's still a little seasick after the travel. After the
Asmo
journey
just
that
takes off
morning.
the mask. It's just me, guys. I'm sick. I seriously can't.
So
I felt bad because this whole time, I'm like, oh, I got so many comments I want to make.
yeah, Asmo's a little under the weather. So Wolfgang, Danir, you walk around. You ask some people. They pretty easily tell you where to find it. And as you get back to T-Wig and Asmo, you let them know, and T-Wig's just pointing directly at the wandering weasel sign sitting off the side of a one of the southern streets.
I'll be done.
I was going to say something, but you guys just walked away, and I didn't want to be rude.
Just shoot your shot. Come on, just say whatever you feel like.
Well, okay.
All right, so you guys wander over to the weasel, and you open up the very familiar door.
Hold my ears.
Gotta be kidding me.
It is a bustling scene. There are people everywhere. The invisible servants are carrying around drinks left and right, all in this sort of Grecian getup, a very skimpy Grecian getup, no doubt selected by Tom. Tom barely has time to look up from the bar. Oh, welcome to the Wandering. Oh, hello! And he goes back to working. There are people of, I mean, it's mostly Goliath in here, but there are a lot of different creeds in here. In fact, as you look around, go ahead and each of you can give me a perception check.
Alrighty.
25.
All right.
7.
22.
18.
T-Wig, the first thing to catch your eye is you, as you look around this room, you see Harper Valentine sitting around a table with a bunch of other greenskin orcs. There is a rather large and imposing female orc among them with a very long, black, thick braided hair. Harper kind of waves towards you as you walk in, but then continues in his conversation. The orcish woman looks over her shoulder. You can see a massive red scar creasing across the top of her forehead. One of her lower tusk-like fangs seems chipped and recapped with silver.
Nice.
She gives you kind of a knowing grin as she turns back to the table, and as her hair swings back down over the back of the chair, you see a long sickle-like blade going through the back, going through the bottom of the braid, as almost in kind of a pendulum-like fashion.
Ooh. A hornet stinger. All right.
Demir,
I will shoot her the double crossbows as I walk into the bar.
Danir, as you look around, you see members of the tribe of Solitude. None that you had seen before, but you do see the two black-haired mop-top men with the scar on opposite cheeks, kind of sitting at a table with another very large woman. She seems almost as tall and imposing as the orc. Her hair is very messy black, or very messy brown, knotted. It seems to be laced with various skulls. Humanoid in design, but definitely of different species. They don't seem to pay you guys much mind, but you do recognize them as part of that tribe. There's also another woman sitting at that table. She seems smaller and more meek in comparison to those surrounding her. She's got thin, mousy black hair and has a very nervous disposition across her face as she's just trying to get the attention of a server that's walking by. Meanwhile, Asmo, your eyes are immediately drawn to your boy, Pip, who is behind the bar, and his eyes catch yours.
Okay,
Waves
just a
toward
really
you.
hug. I do the running hug. Can I grab him immediately, give him a noogie, and take him off to go tell him everything that's happened?
Yes, but as you run in, I'll flavor this. As you're running in, you bump the side of a Goliath who spills some of his drink.
Oh, what a clumsy Goliath.
Yeah. As you run up and hug Pip, Pip gives you like that big hug back. Just like very happy to see you, points at your armor as like, you know. You feel a hand on your shoulder as you're about to tell Pip
I
everything.
Shake it.
And
Hi, Asmo. Nice to meet you.
you turn and this Goliath is like a blood vessel looks like it's about to burst in his head.
You made me spill my drink!
Oh my God! Was that? Is there no more drink you can get?
You made me spill it on my best tunic!
Lush at the side of her normal seat in the bar looks over. Is there a problem? The Goliath, who's still like kind of bursting at the seams, looks towards her.
He made me spill my drink!
That sounds like a you problem. He just kind of starts backing up, pointing at you, Asmo, as he sits down, just glaring at you.
Thanks, Lush.
She holds up her massive stein towards you. Mm-hmm.
Just imagine it's that one gif of...
Pip.
It's that
Pip,
one
come
gif
here.
of our truth.
Pip, come here, my boy. Come hither, Pip.
Pip looks over towards Tom. And Tom's like, oh, of course, yes. Take your break.
Yeah, I'm gonna go take him out back, and I'm gonna go tell him all the crimes I've committed.
Wonderful! Make sure to share them with me, Pip!
Don't
As,
tell, Tewick.
And Asmo scurries on off.
As Pip takes off his apron, just kind of like brushes himself off and scurries out from behind the bar and meets you behind scenes where you will be catching up with him for the remainder of this, unless you actually wish to act this out, which
I would love to. I'm too sick.
I know.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom now.
Go ahead. Yeah, Wolfgang. Unfortunately, this place is so crowded. You're able to spot those that Denier and T-Wig spot out to you, but this place is too crowded for you to really be keeping eyes on things.
Careful, don't drown there, buddy. As I just kind of like shift Wolfgang out of the way of like a Goliath walking by.
Loud. Annoying. And he just stops paying attention.
There are a couple of seats open at the bar.
Denier walks up and grabs
Occupy
one.
Tom wanders up to you as he finishes mixing a drink and setting it on the bar for one of these servers to come and grab.
Glad to see you've made it. Was very worried after we got separated.
Tell me about it. I woke up with a blinding headache in the middle of a camp.
Thunder and lightning will do that to you.
Denier pulls back his hood and he shows Eska around his neck.
There's my little friend. How are you doing?
Eska hops off onto the bar, kind of crawls up Tom's arm.
Come on, you know how to do it.
Kind of like throws his arm off to the side as Eska rushes down and starts pulling the tap above one of the empty glasses beneath it.
Perfect.
I didn't expect that. Of all things for me to be sent when I requested aid, I would be sent one of your friends.
Amazing how things work out like that, isn't it? Speaking of which, how fared your travels? I'm very interested in the tale, and I will always regret not being able to make it myself.
Denier will go into telling the thrilling defense of the Battle of Damhammer.
You have his not undivided, but he seems to be enthralled by the tale.
Mm-hmm.
as he continues mixing and pouring drinks for the various clientele wandering about.
Yeah, Denier will just...
T-Wig would like to try one of these poisonous drinks just to see why. Why does everyone want to drink these?
Tom just asks you, of course, any particular poison you're looking for?
Whatever one is the one that you sell the most of.
Well, you don't sell it much around here, but I will say this place is wonderful. It has the best blood wine in all of the continent, hands down.
Drink blood.
It's merely an expression, mostly. I think there is actual blood in it. Care for a tab?
Sure.
T-Wig, there are creatures that actually sustain themselves on nothing but blood.
Yeah,
Yes,
but I'm not one of them, Denier.
It is a very high seller up in the north, I'll tell you that much.
As he sets a chalice of this thick, red, sickly sweet-smelling liquid in front of you, T-Wig.
Alright, I'll just, literally, I will, put my muzzle over the chalice and just, stick out my tongue into it.
It kind of harkens you towards, it's odd. You've never really tasted something like this before, but it's oddly a pleasant and familiar sensation at the same time.
Yeah, I bring my tongue back in.
There's a slight burn to it.
Alright,
Very slight.
Here, I just push the chalice back. Thank you. They put it back in the barrel now.
I'll just
Tom ignores that.
I'll reach over to the glass and I'll take it.
Wolfgang, no!
What?
It's like blood and something else I don't know, and something
Apricots.
familiar.
Apricots is the word you're looking for.
I'll give it a little snifter.
No doubt, it definitely carries a blood-like scent to it, but there is that alcohol-like fermentation that you're so familiar with. It carries some very interesting notes. There are some very subtle fruit notes among that very savory blood-like odor. It's intriguing, to say the least.
Well, let's see what the leech is like so much about this stuff, and he'll take a sip.
It's kind of like sipping on beef drippings. It's very savory.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, it's very savory, but there's also this subtle alcoholic sweetness backing it. To those at home, I have never drank blood wine before. I am making this up. So,
Odd.
yeah, it's
But not entirely unpleasant.
Variety is the spice of life, as they say.
I suppose.
As for you, it's been quite a while since we've seen each other as well. How have you been?
Well, a lot has happened.
he just kind of looks at you with that knowing smile that
I'm sure it has.
as he continues preparing more drinks as the orders continue to pile up, especially in Pip's absence.
I recently sorry.
Yeah, I was just flavor-wise. Eska is also helping to pour beers, nuzzling mugs under the tap, jumping up and pulling it down with two of its paws.
It's impressive. Recently reunited with a family heirloom.
Have you now?
Yep, I will carefully and on the counter summon Crescendo.
Lush looks over, gives you kind of the side eye, goes back to drinking.
I hold a hand up like, take it easy.
Ah, fascinating. How many years has this thing been lying away in some reliquary?
He sort of reaches for the handle and looks at you as if to ask permission.
Sort of gestures like, go ahead.
Lifts it up, and
Okay.
the blade immediately ignites in that white flame. The crowd around the bar, or in the room, all kind of like stop for a moment and look over as they slowly begin going back to their drinks.
Quite the powerful piece.
Sets it back down. The flame extinguishes.
Sort of slowly grabs it and then dismisses it back into its own pocket dimension. Interesting.
Quite.
I can only do that every once in a while.
I imagine it taxing.
Yes. But I traveled up to a monastery on top of Platinum Peak to apparently that's where it was being kept.
Ah, yes. Bahamut.
I spoke
How
to-
fares the old man?
Well, he's still not quite fit, I would say.
Slumbering for quite an age he has.
I had no way to tell if he was recovering or not, correct?
Based on what you got from Bahamut, he doesn't know if he is recovering. He's just been hibernating, and that's about the best he could do, is keep a subtle eye on the world from his peak, or from his perch.
I had no idea my family worked so closely with the local royals in the past for it to be sacred heirloom kept on top of the mountains, guarded by the father of the king.
As I recall, the tales were told back in the Warring Age.
Right.
Your ancestor
Well.
wielded that in battle. And at the end of it all, he left it where, well, with the only ally he truly believed could keep it safe. And now it's fallen to you.
Yeah, suppose it has. Speaking of wars, I'm sure Daenerys gotten you up to date on that.
Oh, you mean the festivities or the,
No.
Oh, yes, your bleeding god, right.
Right.
Yes, I'm very much aware of everything on that level.
We have a few more supporters, but it seems that a few aren't quite as keen.
Care to elaborate?
He'll lean over, sort of trying to keep it hush hush.
He leans back with you. Or leans in with you.
Vander.
Did he agree?
There's a caveat.
There always is with him.
We have to bring him the head of his son.
Oof, quite the hefty price.
And if we don't, then he'll consider us enemies. So that's what we have going.
Well, that does sound like quite the predicament. Be interesting to see how it plays out.
Says as he starts
I-
shaking a drink in his hands.
I suppose that means you have no stakes in this either.
I simply live to see what is done. My proficiency has never laid in combat, nor shall it. I am a observer.
A storyteller isn't much use if there's nobody left to tell the story to.
There will always be those left to hear a tale.
And what about her?
He looks over towards Lush.
Lush is fully capable of making her own decisions.
Denier, have you asked?
No, not yet. I wanted to talk to Vander first, and then ask Lush. I know Lush can hold her own, but Lush seems to have more interest here. Well, that would probably be a good idea. And with that, Denier gets up, and he starts walking over towards Lush.
Lush kind of catches you out of the side of her eye, motions toward the seat next to stool next to her, which you'll notice that almost every time in the bar there is a one bench buffer between Lush and the next person sitting.
Denier will take the seat. I appreciate it, Lush.
Good to see her alive.
Yeah, the blast caught me on the back as I was trying to message some of my allies. Woke up later that evening in the camp, in the shamanistic camp of Solitude not too long after.
Yeah, the whole rock we were stationed in was zapped straight out the south gate over there. Shame you weren't inside. You would have had a fast track.
Yeah. But I think it's a good thing that happened. We did a lot of good on the way here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Damhammer wouldn't be standing if we hadn't showed up. Theranak took an entire army into it. Tried to catch him off guard.
Why?
Invasion? Raiding supplies? Or maybe he's just bored.
She kind of chuckles to herself. Way I understand it, that boy was around here cursing out you guys something fierce. Perhaps if you never made it to Damhammer, he never would have fought there to begin with.
Maybe. But I've got other business with you.
Oh?
Yeah, you know what's coming. You've heard me talk about it so often.
You are borderline obsessed with it, if not fully.
Well, when something torments you as much as it has me, you have to be ready for it.
Oh, I don't blame you. Just stating facts, she says as she starts chugging down the stein she has, puts it on the bar, slides it over. Eska pops out in front of it and kind of curls its tail, slides it to the underbar, begins refilling it.
Denier motions over to Eska. He's been good for me, though.
I miss that thing.
How long has he been with you?
Traveled with us for a while back in the beginning.
Hmm.
Way, way back. Before the wars.
Wow, he is that old?
Maybe. Might be the same one, might not. I don't really know. They all kind of look the same to me, the fuzzy weasel things.
Yeah. Apparently T-Wig talked to him.
Yeah?
Yeah, says that he remembers, he has a lot of memories of you, and apparently you, Tom and Arcanos had some kind of falling out.
Yeah. Arcanos, when he was a lot younger, he came in a lot. He was absolutely fascinated with Tom. I mean, even before this place existed, he was always following Tom. I mean, he made this place for Tom.
Really?
He always just wanted Tom to teach him more and more, but Tom wouldn't. Told him to go off and do something. Eventually, Arcanos just kind of had enough of it and stopped showing up.
Yeah. Tom's the type where he speaks, but he gives his wisdom sparingly. He doesn't want to influence things too much, from what I've figured out.
Yeah, that seems to be the way he's treated everything. Ugh, that's why I like it here. No complications, no... What do you want?
I want to ask you to, when the time comes, I want you to stand at our side.
Against that thing.
Yeah. We're going to need all the help we can get, and anybody that can help. We've already talked to Fleetfoot. And
He agreed?
apparently, according to Wolfgang, yeah. I'm going to be going after Arcanos, and no doubt we're going to have to talk to Solomon eventually. That's going to be a tricky conversation to say itself. Vander's having some issues. But hopefully we can get Bahoum back up and running. So we'll have him and the other dragons. But I don't want to force you into anything. I don't want to make you do anything you do. Just asking help from a friend. That's all. I know you just want to have your peace here in the bar, hear your stories, have your drink.
What do you know about what happened that day?
Not much. From what I understand, a great beast came. Everybody tried to fight it. And apparently, Vander got the final blow. Fleetfoot wrapped it up in vines and dragged it into the base of the mall. It's still down there. I can feel it. When I was crossing the mall, I felt it calling me.
It's down there. There's one thing about Tom. He always insists on being at a place at a very specific time. I don't know how he knows where to be and when, but he wanted to be there. I saw it, that monster the size of a city, the dragons swarming it, attacking it. But that wasn't even the worst of it. That thing. When everything it touched became horrible and monstrous.
The abominations. I see them often. They're scattered across his realms.
No, you haven't seen these. When my brothers began fighting with that thing, flying into the center of that mist, that disgusting, I can still remember its smell as we traveled through. Tom insisted that we be there. We saw that battle unfold. We saw Solomon. We saw Fleetfoot. We saw his ancestor. We saw Bahamut. All of them paling in comparison to this thing's horrific. There was explosions everywhere. Beams firing off. They singed through the planet. Vander finally smacked it across the face, and before it could regrow, Fleetfoot, he trapped it in that tree and tied it as tight as possible, binding it. Bahamut burning it with this holy heat. And that man, keeping him pinned down. It's no wonder he didn't survive.
What man?
That glowing man. His ancestor looks over towards Wolfgang. Him and Solomon. They kept him down. Long enough to... The earth that began to shudder, crack, split. That final explosion. I wasn't sure any of us had survived it. Apparently Bahamut had carried off him, and obviously Solomon made it. Obviously Vander made it. But Tom and I, we fell down, 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 down to the base of that pit. And that tree, that eye staring down at us.
That horrible yellow eye.
Tom just grinned at it like an idiot. He didn't notice that we were being pulled in. It was all I could do to grab him and pull us away from there. But those beasts, they came, one after the other. It felt like I was fighting for centuries to get us out of that hole, walking through those caves, always pursued, blocking off every corridor that we walked through just to make sure we weren't pursued. She takes the stein and just pounds it. No. I don't think I want to deal with that again.
Dinir nods. I'm sorry I brought it up, Lush. I didn't intend to force you to relive such horrible memories.
They're always there. It was there that I learned how to fight. I didn't used to fight. I've always been strong, but I never had to. I mean, I was created to bring joy to the mortals. Festivities. Libation. All I can do now is live. Because I can't die. The door opens from the back of the room, and a chilling air seems to come across the room. The lights almost extinguish from the candles. As walking in amongst several cloaked figures is a man whose skeleton glows through his skin
Fuck.
as he glances
Oh,
over
no.
as he glances around. What's a guy gotta do to get a drink around here? And here's where we'll take a break. Hey guys, Lani here. If you're liking what you're watching, feel free to hit that subscribe button and that like button. It really helps me feel the love for this series. And if you want to catch us live, feel free to hit us up on twitch.tv/Lanipator Mondays at 5 o'clock Central Time. Thanks for rolling with me. Now let's get back to the action. So yeah, striding in with a kind of flanked on both sides by 6 cloaked figures, Solomon Liebentod walks into the Wandering Weasel. The lamps and like all of the candles on the chandeliers all flicker and go out for a moment and reignite. The air takes on this sickly, grave-chilling cold as Tom just kind of like looks over at him. Welcome to the Wandering Weasel! And the lights all burn back to full force. Everybody's still kind of quiet and chilled for a moment. Tom is not taken aback in the least. Solomon just kind of like looks to the left and right of his entourage and just kind of like nods off, and they all look amongst each other and wander off, finding various places to sit.
I just imagine Solomon, buddy system, buddy system.
They do all like they do seem to be kind of sheepish as they wander as you you know that these drow don't exactly have a lot of give and take when it comes to their orders. Nah, I wasn't cutting out. I was just pausing to think about my words. Solomon just kind of like looks around. What? And everybody goes back to what they were doing. Jesus.
Do I recognize them?
Solomon, you do not. However, go ahead and make me make a perception check there, T-Wig.
Okay. That will be an 18.
As you look at this new crowd of very interesting and strange people walk in, you note that one of them is kind of asymmetrical. One of them seems to be missing an arm as it wanders off, and that one wanders off on its own and sits down at the end of the bar. As Solomon walks up and looks at the seat on the other side of Lush, and then notices that you're there, Denier. This one taken? I take that as a no. He sits down.
Shrink down just a little bit.
He looks over. Hey, old man! What the fuck's good around here? And Tom wanders over to him, and they begin chatting in Denier, a language that you can't comprehend.
Can I?
Go ahead and make me a perception check.
May I also?
You may attempt, T-Wig.
Perception. 26.
T-Wig, do you speak Celestial?
11.
Not only do I speak Celestial, I also have this.
Observant. Quick to notice details of your environment to gain the following benefits. Increase your intelligence wisdom score, but one blah blah blah. If you can see a creature's mouth. Okay, so you don't really need that trait, as you were able to overhear them. Wolfgang, the mutterance of the crowd around you is a little too loud for you. You hear a word here and there. T-Wig, to you it just sounds like they're talking about like the there's mentioned that, like, you know, the tournament's beginning tomorrow, etc., etc. Is there a more private place that we can talk? As Solomon looks over and notices the two of you leaning forward and trying to listen. Tom replies as soon as his help gets back. And, Tom replies as soon as his help gets back. Solomon rolls his eyes, basically says a whatever, stands up from the bar, and grabs a drink, grabs Lush's drink, and takes a large swig from it and sets it back down in front of her. I'll have one of those. Lush doesn't do anything about this. Just kind of averts her gaze.
Well, that wasn't very nice.
A mug pops up in front of him. I'll be waiting in back. He walks past the lot of you. If you're in number now, remember, am I gonna walk back home to a fresh corpse in my lobby? Ah, don't spoil the surprise. As he continues walking.
Ale.
As you say that, Eska pushes up a mug in front of you.
Takes it real quick and starts nursing it, staring straight
So
forward.
weird, though.
That figure sitting at the end of the bar, just kind of like gingerly playing with, you can see this like ebon skin kind of playing with a, what appears to be like the fringes of a napkin. As you look towards him, its glance kind of like looks away. Tom walks over, talks to it. You can't make out the lips of the creature from where you are, T-Wig, so you can't really make out this particular conversation.
How big is this form? Are they like average size, large?
Yeah,
like, wide?
average humanoid in shape.
Okay.
You're guessing by the tone of the fingers that they are a drow.
Okay. I look to Wolfgang. Hey, Wolfgang.
What?
Okay, well, okay, sorry. I just...
He's just staring straight forward, takes another sip of his ale.
Okay,
I said, what?
You seem tense.
The man who just walked in and me. We're not exactly on the best of terms.
Oh. Got it. I should let you simmer then?
Yeah, even Lush is kind of sitting there silently. She hasn't asked for another drink yet, just kind of resting an arm on the bar and looking around. Looking like she's trying to do her job as a bouncer, keeping observant of everything.
Yikes, I can't even feel temperature and it's cold in here. Alright, I'm just gonna... I'm gonna wander up to that figure, I suppose.
Nervously, he shuffles his hand beneath the bar as you sit down at the stool kitty corner from him.
The kitty corner. Great. Hello! Talk about talk about the spooky entourage. I like your cloak.
Thank you.
Super cool make. So, what's the deal with your boss guy? He's kind of eccentric, huh?
Yeah, he does what he wants.
Oh, that's probably why Wolfgang doesn't like him so much. Wolfgang's very astute, you know, follow the rules, do good by others.
I'm aware.
Oh, you know him! Yeah, he's over there. I point towards Wolfgang, who looks probably like he's ready to fucking break the glass in his hand.
Yeah.
He's just staring straight forward, expressionless right now. But you can see it in his eyes.
We've met, yes.
Oh.
I don't think I've met you, though.
Yeah, my name is T-Lake. It is nice to meet you. I'd stick out my hand.
That must be a very common name. You're the second person I've met that has that name.
Really? You know someone else whose name is T-Lake?
Yeah, they are metal, though. Not a dragon.
Oh. Do I recognize this guy when he says that?
As he reaches out his hand.
I think this is common. I'm you.
Oh, you. I remember you, but wasn't super great when we first met.
Then we have met.
Yep.
I see.
Yep.
What village?
You know, the world is my village, you know.
Right.
Right. So you're here to fight in the tournament, I guess, eh?
If I have to.
Great. Hey, weren't you friends with the snake guy?
I don't know. I thought so.
What makes you think differently now?
The last time we saw each other, What is a friend?
Well, it is your favorite person. Well,
So
one
you
of your
can only
favorite
have
people.
one?
Well, no, that's a best friend. You only have one best friend, really. I mean, you can have multiple best friends. You can have a lot of favorites. But, like, a friend is, like, you know, a person. It's really complicated. I'm still learning about that, to be honest with you. Like, a friend is, like, someone who you care about, who you don't want anything bad to happen to them, because if they're happy, you're happy.
I see. Then I think are my friend, but I don't know if I'm theirs.
That can happen.
Huh. It is confusing.
Oh, trust me, like, that's just scratching the surface. Turns out socializing is very complicated and difficult.
I've never really had to.
Yeah, me too. Until, like, recently. Well, not really
Same.
recently. Like, oh, gosh. Like, when you meet someone, like, you know the handshaking thing? It took me forever to learn that. My technique was
Yes.
all wrong. But then
I
eventually
didn't
I figured it out.
understand really that I tried to learn it after the first few times. Normally I'm
if
just
I had
told
to-
to go somewhere and I'm told to do things and I do them. And
That's lame. You never just, like, go crazy just because you want to?
well, I don't really enjoy going crazy.
Well, I don't mean, like actually going crazy, but, like, going for a nice walk, or maybe, like, smelling the flowers, making the flowers bloom, relatable things like that.
There were a few skeletons that I probably didn't need that were fun.
Huh?
They were from mean people. They were mean to me, and I decided that it would be better if they were not, and that they were nice to me.
Oh, so you made them into skeletons. That seems kind of bad, but good, but bad at the same time. Because if they were mean people who did bad things, and then you made them into good people who did good things, that's good. But if you did it
I made
against
them milk
their
cows.
will, that's fine, because cows need to be milked on the regular.
They did. It was yes, those cows had to be milked.
Yeah. But still, doing that against their will seems kind of invasive.
But I'm told to do things all the time. It's normal.
Well, what's normal for you might be not normal to someone else. I mean, part of someone being your friend is that they're willing to be your friend. They're not told to be.
Yes, the skeletons were not friends. They were toys, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah.
So does that mean you actually have any friends or no?
The master, I guess.
Oh, that's nice. You really like him. He's really cool, even though he's kind of a bit forward, I would say, in terms of his interaction with other people.
He's my reason for existing.
That's
He's
like a
why I'm
parent.
here.
That's like your dad. I mean, I learned that if you have someone who made you, they're either your mom or your dad, or just your parent, I guess.
No, my parents were different. The ones that I was born to. The master, he gave me purpose. He
Oh, so he raised you then.
Yes, I suppose.
So then he's your dad.
Relationships are confusing.
They are, but like this is what I'm learning, right? Because like I've seen people, like they have a baby and they're like, I don't want this baby, and then like it's really sad. I read this really sad book about it. But then someone else is like, this baby's super cool. I'm gonna raise this baby, and then the baby's like, those people aren't my parents. They were not kind to me, but this person, they're my parents and they're nice to me. You know what I mean? It's like you can choose sometimes.
Yes, you choose friends. You don't choose family.
Well, you choose like friends can become family. If you feel a certain way about them.
I see.
He points over to, like, sheepishly points over towards Wolfgang and Denier.
Are they your friends?
They are. They started out as my friends, but now I'd say they've become my family.
I
You
see.
see, at first, we were just kind of cool, and I didn't know a whole lot. And then as I spent time with them, and they kind of took care of me, and I
They
took care of
became your
them.
father.
Well, So, nah, I kind of think, like, I'm the parent in this. You know what I mean? Like,
So you became their father.
like a father bird, yeah. So, like, I mean, gosh, there's been so many times where they're like, I'm hungry, and I'm like, here, have a berry. And, like, that's something a parent would do. I mean, or just a friend. It's very complicated, but, yeah, I guess so. I'm like their parent in a way.
How do you know when you have a friend, when they are yours and you are theirs?
Well, you gotta feel like a connection. There has to be a willingness to, like, out of character. Oh my god. In character. Well, there has to be a willingness to communicate. And really, you have to just choose to do that. Really. You know, you see someone, you're like, I want to connect with that person. You have to choose to be like, I'm gonna connect with that person. And if that person's like, no, I don't want to be around you, well, then you'll know there's no connection.
So, then I don't have friends.
Well, have you ever, like, I mean, there's other cloaked people. I just kind of look around. Do I see the other cloaked people?
Yeah, they're around. They're all standing. They don't even sit where they have gone to the tables of. They are just standing stoically, not moving.
I turn back and I go, well, have you ever asked them, your friends there, if, you know, what their favorite color is, how they feel about the weather, you know, if they want to, like, play kick the can or something?
They typically don't speak unless they are ordered to. I have told them where to go and what to do sometimes, but that's never come up, no.
Well, you should try bringing it up. You know, just be, like, hanging out and, like, you know, like, before or after the orders, just be like, yo, how you doing? And, like, what do you think of the current state of the politics and things like that? You know, really start to foster a communication.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how friends happen.
Yes. I'm pretty sure, 100%.
Are we friends?
I think so. I sit down next to him.
He takes a moment to process this.
I mean, I will say this. You did something kind of bad that hurt my other friend, which is kind of not good. But, I mean, I'm willing to forgive you for it if you were willing to make amends.
It was regretful. I did not know that it wasn't... I thought it was a joke. Friends do pranks, right?
Yes, but they don't hurt each other. You want
But
to confuse, not abuse.
But I didn't hurt him. I know I didn't, but it upset him a lot.
Well, sometimes you can hurt people in ways you can't see. I think you hurt his soul, to be honest, which is a very bad thing to do. But I look over to Wolfgang, who's
Something
still
about what you just said seemed to connect with him on a visceral level.
I see.
So maybe the best thing to do, to maybe make another friend, is to apologize. He might not forgive you, but an apology is not sometimes for the other person. Sometimes it's for yourself.
He nods.
Here, I'll be right with you, okay? Come on.
Thank you.
As he stands up and slowly starts to shamble towards the other side of you, towards Wolfgang, he awkwardly sits down.
Hello.
The sound of wood creaking as Wolfgang turns his head.
Did you get my package?
Yeah. Yeah, I got your package.
Good.
What are you?
I'm sorry I couldn't get all of it back.
He turns to you, T-Wig. Is that
He
how
looks
apologizing works?
No, just a little bit more. Just be like,
Oh.
I am sorry that I hurt you. Please
I-
forgive me. I hope we can make amends. And it's kind of like
I-
lean back, just kind of point.
I am sorry that I hurt your soul.
He looks towards T-Wig slowly.
Thumbs up.
I
he was sort of looking down and forward. He looks up at that, just straight forward, and then quickly back towards you.
I was doing a job and I was told that you would not be harmed. I don't understand everything. I tried to get it back.
And Wolfgang, you're now noticing that the cloak that floats down to one of his sides is suspiciously loose.
You turned the most important woman in the world to me into an abomination. And you're sorry.
Yes.
Ah! Turns around in his chair, grasps his shoulder. Tell you what.
Grasps Yu's shoulder.
I grasp Yu's shoulder.
His shoulder isn't there. Your fingers go a few inches further than you believe, and you're grabbing basically the side of his chest in this weird lumpy scar tissue as you turn him.
Opposite shoulder. Is that still there?
Yes. His other arm is still there. His right arm is intact.
I'm not who you should be apologizing to. You apologize to my wife, whose memory you besmirched by bringing her back from the dead as an abomination. I expect to see flowers on her grave when I return home. If I do, then I'll forgive you.
I see. I
kind of like flip you around and go, that's good, that's very good. Good job.
yes.
I can even get you the flowers. This is great.
Her if it means anything, her soul wasn't involved.
Just do
Wait.
what the fuck I say.
Yep, we will do that. That's great. You, come on, let's get drinks, buddy. Do you like poison? I sure do. And I just kind of start to push him back towards where we were.
What kind do you need? I have 3 vials of...
Any.
I mean, the one that comes in a glass that you buy for money. I don't get this stuff. That was good. That was really good. I kind of like get him away from Wolfgang, like out of earshot. That was really good. That was really, really good. How do you feel right now?
I don't know.
That's good. Sometimes when we open up our hearts and truly bare our souls, it can feel confusing and strange. But you did really, really good. And honestly, I think you made him feel better. I mean, he's still mad, obviously, but if you
does not look better.
He's staring off even stonier face than before.
Now he's visibly annoyed or aggravated.
He does look happier.
He does. Look, his corners of his mouth are twitching. I think that means he's trying to just stop a smile. But that was good. That was really, really good. I couldn't help but notice, though, just a quick question. You work with, like, souls and stuff?
Not really souls. No.
Oh, okay.
That's not my domain, really. I mean, I could, but it's tricky. Souls are hard.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Flesh and bone is easy.
You know, it kinda is.
Why do you ask?
Oh, I just, just curious.
Right. He says, kind of like eyeing you over, not sure how to read what you were saying.
So, gosh, what now? I mean, there's so many other things we can do as friends.
Like what? What do friends do?
Hold on a second. Hold on to that thought. I walk
Okay.
over to Wolfgang. Wolfgang!
What?
If you have a friend you just met and you want to get to know them better, what would you do?
I'll look up towards you. Again, just...
He waves. He waves.
Look back down to Teewig. A friend you just met.
Yeah. I think I'm his first friend.
He looks stunned for a moment, and he takes off his hat, pinches the bridge of his nose. Well, if I had a friend I just met at a tavern, I'd buy him a drink.
Oh, perfect. I look over towards the weasel. What was the name of the? I forgot your weasel's
Eska.
name. Eska, thank you. I turn to Eska. Eska! I grab some silver from my pocket and slam it. I would like a drink for my new friend over there, and I point my arm towards.
Flone.
you.
Eska looks inquisitively towards the bar and back. You get the implication that it's asking what.
Whatever
drink.
says it's gonna be a fun night.
Wanders over. Wanders up to Tom and starts muttering in Tom's ear. Oh yes, it's wonderful. Tom eventually meets you two at the end of the bar with 2 glasses of what appear to be a clear liquid that are expelling a white flame.
Make sure to put that out first before you drink. It'd be bad otherwise.
I look towards you. Are you ready, buddy? I'm willing to drink poison with you.
Okay. Yes, I am ready to drink this particular poison.
And it's on fire. That's pretty crazy.
Yes, it is.
And he
All right.
sets his hand over the flame. His entire hand ignites with this white fire.
Oh, nope, wrong.
Uh-oh! I cast control water. If there's like any water sources you're nearby to just like splash water on him.
Some ale comes from the tap and just.
Oh no! Oh fuck!
Ale is close enough to water that it is not alcoholic enough to burn further.
Yeah,
Okay, thank God.
only really high-proof stuff catches fire.
Okay, that was not the way to do it.
No, I think we have to I kind of breathe on the drink to blow out the flames.
Do you have breath?
I don't.
So the fire doesn't do anything while you're making a noise.
Hey, you! I helped
I'll
blow out your
fucking-
fire. Could you blow up mine? I hold up the drink to you to see if you could blow it out for me.
You blows it out and the fire kind of like flows off the drink and flutters into the air in kind of a dragon wing-like pattern, and then kind of like sputters out.
Swore you made
I
a
knocked
flaming
out.
mo.
I knocked out the fire on you, and you knocked out my fire. This is called teamwork, which is what friends do.
Yes, teamwork is what friends do, also squads.
Yes, friend squad.
Friends squad.
He clinks his drink with yours as you hold it out to him.
Okay, I will open my mouth and throw it down the hatch.
And you drinks his basically just doing a shot with it.
Yeah.
Did you just douse your bees in liquor?
Ugh, I just kind of retch. I don't like it.
Yeah, it trumbles throughout your system. It's almost like a Looney Tune thing where you just hear that as it goes through your system. Your body vibrates. You starts to like stumble a little bit as he sits down in the chair. Oh, that is pleasant feeling and strange.
I feel like I just drank pond water
I can feel my arm.
after a drought.
Oh wait, this is the one I still have.
Huh? And I will continue to be his friend for the rest of the night.
As time winds by, more and more people begin to leave. You can tell it's starting to get into the evening. Tom starts to like wipe down the bar as it is literally now just you guys and the drow awkwardly standing around as Tom and Eska are wiping things down.
Get your rooms for the evening.
Sure. I need to go find Asmo.
Asmo has been up in Pip's room this whole time. Pip has been, Asmo, this entire time, Pip has been showing you more of those various tiny paintings that look so realistic of him in various areas of the world that they've traveled to.
God, this place looks cold. You wore a proper jacket, right? Okay,
He points to the big fluffy hood around his head,
Good.
where you can only see his big bulging eyes.
That's good, because then they can always see where you are in case you get lost. Sorry, I'm not feeling really well. Something's up with me, and I don't know what.
Pip takes you out into the hall and shows you over to where your typical room is here. As you're wandering out, Wolfgang is coming up the stairs.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, what's up?
A lot.
No, really a lot. What,
Guess
you drink
who's
a couple
fucking
beers?
here?
Who?
Guess who's fucking here? I jab my finger at his chest.
Me?
I point at his glyph that he still has on his chest.
Or where it
Where
would
the
be
breast-
through your breastplate.
Yeah.
Me. You keep pointing at me. What are you doing? What are you doing right now, Wolfgang? Tell me more right now.
He's here. Stole a sip of Lush's beer or whatever she was drinking. Got up and went looking for you. You? I don't know.
Wait, me or you? Now, do you mean you, or the drow you?
No, the drow you is downstairs. Solomon.
Oh, he's
is
here
missing.
too. Okay.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, I was in the room for like an hour. What the hell?
Detect magic.
Once again, this entire place glows around you.
It's, like
It's
looking
almost
at a
like
door.
using thermal vision in a sauna.
Fuck. I turn it off.
It's like looking at the sun with night vision goggles.
Yup.
Fortunately, that's at will, so I can do it whenever I want. Yeah.
Sorry. What?
No, you don't sound so good there.
No.
Pip points at him. Just like
What are we gonna do? What,
points at his
what are we gonna-
throat.
You want a lesser restoration? I can go ahead and...
What
If
should we
only.
do? What should we do right now? I mean, we got a lot of. I mean, did he leave? Did Solomon leave? Is he gone? Is he?
His cronies are still here.
Okay, but is he in the place still?
I have to imagine he might be.
You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go have a bath. I'm gonna go into that bathroom. Fuck it. I might die today. Let's have a nice bath.
I have a sneaking suspicion.
Oswald's taking off his clothes. What's that?
Taking off your clothes as you're walking downstairs.
No, wait a minute. I'll just like pick up a shoe and follow him.
As you guys begin to make your way towards Tom's sauna, you continue your conversation.
Well, Pip's doing good.
That's good. He's a good lad.
He is. He really is. And one day he will rule us all. It's always the ones you don't expect.
Say that as you
Sure.
pull back the curtain into the sauna as you finally get bare ass naked, and they're sitting at the far end of the tub.
I fucking knew it.
I knew it. That's why I was like, fuck it. Let's go to the bath. We're gonna have this
Oh,
conversation in the goddamn
no.
bathroom. I knew exactly what you were gonna do, Nick.
About damn time you showed. He turns his eyes and sees you. Oh, you're alive.
I just have like all of Asmo's clothes and his shoe in the opposite hand.
Huh. Nah, I still want that flesh. He says as he like glances up and down.
I'm sorry.
Maybe you are dying. Every time you cough, by the way, your the symbol on your chest kind of glows a little bit. It feels very cold in his presence. You remember the intense heat, that searing pain as it got etched on you, that heat that caused you to black out and potentially die when he first put that upon you. In his presence, it feels like the counter to that. It feels so cold. It feels like you have ice etched onto your chest.
Okay. Asmo just looks over at Solomon and just nods, and Asmo just jumps into the water.
I was hoping for a talk with the old man, and he kind of glances over at you, Wolfgang. Get there soon enough, I guess.
Asmo comes up. Is it still cold under the water? The
That
magical hot water?
the symbol on your chest, like you have this sensation of you know what these waters do. You know that they kind of reverse the flow of time over you. And it's this strange sensation, this tingling feeling on your chest. It still feels cold. Like icy razors being etched into your skin. But you also have this like strange vibration-like tingle along with it, as these two magical forces appear to be colliding.
So to what do I owe the bath visit, Solomon?
I mean, you're the one that decided to come in here. I'm waiting
true.
for the old man. I don't give a shit about what you guys are doing. You're here for the tournament, right? I figured as much when last time, you died.
Oh yeah. It's really hot and warm.
Sorry. Yes, we're doing that. Asmo says. Sorry.
Well, all I can do is wish you luck.
Are you entering?
Me? Nah.
That'd be a sight. That'd be a sight, huh?
I am, hell. He kind of, like, looks up into the sky at this, the projection of the moon hanging above you. This is a cooperative festival. It's meant to celebrate death and conflict. I'm simply here representing my mother, so she can look down at the people that are gonna come tell her stories. Quite a story you'll have to tell, I'm betting, once you're done.
Are you talking to me or Sideburns?
Soon enough, probably both.
Never
What?
pegged you for a mama's boy.
He straightens up. Well, I'm certainly not daddy's.
Sorry, one second. I'll be right
Wolfgang
back.
will begin to take off his coat. The rest of his clothes as well. And he'll join in on Asmo's side.
He glances at your your body that's covered in scars head to toe.
Oh yeah, fucking Vash the Stampede over here.
You You got something to say, or are you just here to sulk more?
I got plenty to sulk about, but
Oh, of
since you
course
bring him
do.
up, he still loves you, you know.
I'm sure he does. He's done such a marvelous job of showing it over the years. Of course he'd tell that to you. You're his weapon to kill me. Speaking of which, you packing any more of a punch these days?
I am. But, as I told you before, I am not here to kill you. Not even after what you did.
After what I did? What did I do? What this time?
Well, that thing with sending me regards. Using the corpse of my wife to...
Oh,
break
the
me out of
werewolf
jail.
thing, yeah. I forgot about that.
Clever. Bet you thought that was real fucking cute.
Eh. I mean, a little bit. It was an idea I had. Tell me, when you were with her, did you like do it in the while she was the wolf, or like, what was that like? Is that what some of those scars are from? Some of the back ones?
Asmo just shakes
I
his
think
head
I'll
and
keep
dips
that
below the
for you.
water.
You know, it's funny. I wasn't expecting you quite to understand what me and her had. You haven't quite felt in a long time, have you?
And felt what?
Love.
His eyes grow cold as he looks at you. I know what love is.
And it doesn't happen. Tell me.
Love is that absolute devotion. That willingness above all other things to seek the happiness of the one you care about. And knowing that it's reciprocated. I've had it. I've been there. Number of times. Hundreds, thousands, hell, every single one of my goddamn followers loves me to fucking death and beyond. I'll understand it more than you ever will. From all angles. Tell me, when it glared at you, did you think it was, did you think she was still in there? A little bit of, I'm so sorry. Not like this. Is that a yes?
Maybe a little bit.
I thought so. He was really torn up about that shit. I don't really get it. He's been weird. Fucking came back missing a goddamn arm. I don't even remember where I told him to go.
So he did that to himself then.
I don't know. Said he was grabbing something. Said he needed to grab something, and that there was... Apparently he came in contact with an artifact from a god, because that's the only thing that can't regenerate from these motherfuckers, so... I must have sent him someplace fucking crazy. Weird that I can't remember. Whatever. Neither here nor there. He's gimped, but he's not fighting in the tournament unless I need him to anyway. Ah! Tell me, is this place closed up? Is that why you're here? Is the old man just fucking about?
Well, I'm here to look after him.
After points at the drowning snake.
Yeah.
Is he done? Is it over?
I reach down, and grab him by the neck and pull him back above water.
Ah!
Good job.
Ah!
It's a fucking marvel you people have survived this long. Look, I don't give a shit what happens to you. I don't give a shit what happens out there. Just give her a good show.
It's what I'm known for.
He stands up and begins walking. He is, of course,
is he naked
buck-ass
in the bath?
He is absolutely 1,000% naked.
Okay,
I mean,
but if we can see his bones underneath his body.
Oh
does
God,
that-
I can see his
penis?
smoke.
Can we see his pingus bone?
He does not have a pingus bone, but you can see through it. It's that same. Actually, no, you can't see through it. It's that.
I'm staring
Black
at
as
the camera.
night.
I am staring at the camera like I'm on The Office right now.
I know.
With that swirling like black smoke that seems to make up his skin. It is darker than the blackest void, so much so that it's hard to make out a shape. As much as you know, go ahead if you want, make a perception check,
No.
but it's gonna be hard.
I don't want to. I need
Okay.
to. No, I'm not going to take away from the tension of the scene.
No
I already
worries.
did that with my joke.
He yeah, you can't quite make out the shape of it, but it's there. And as he stretches out his arms, more black mist kind of swirls around him and forms a cloak.
Are you gonna be watching the tournament?
Yeah,
Weasel says.
I'll be there. I'll be at the arena.
I'll make sure to throw someone whose ass I kicked your way.
If you're that strong, we'll see. I hear you have a ringer with you.
Got 2 ringers with us. You get to find out who the other one is.
Fair enough. He begins to wander out.
One more thing.
He's ignoring you, but you can talk as he's walking out.
We have one more thing to discuss. We won't do it here, but we will have a talk.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. As he, doesn't even look at you and just keeps walking out. And as he leaves, he swishes a finger in the air, and the water around you turns to ice. He looks
Turns
towards
like
you.
solid
He looks
ice?
towards you, Wolfgang. No more eavesdropping. And continues to walk out to go find Tom. It is the eve before the opening ceremonies, and the war games will begin next time on The Ties That Bind.
Yay.